going on, you guys? Your girl coming at you live here from Singapore, Rasati on the Night Owl podcast. This is episode 635, and yeah, I'm still doing a damn thing. So I want to tell you exactly how great the universe is because I was sitting here trying to figure out what the hell I wanted the next episode to be about, and guess what? My girls came through. So I had a couple of people actually message me with concerns, comments, posts that they wanted to share with me because they felt like that's something I taught them. And guess what today's theme was? I was already contemplating this, but they kind of gave me confirmation. So this is about your very first soulmate. And honestly, your first soulmate should be you. We're over here looking for love in all the wrong places. We're over here trying to, give love to other people, hoping that they will give love to us the way we want to be loved. But we don't do that for ourselves. Why? We should love ourselves as if we were our first partner. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. Your first soulmate should be you. Because nothing is going to come with you in this life or leave with you in this life. It is you. And the closest thing that's going to be with you for the duration of your life is going to be your body. So why not take care of your mind and your body as if they were the one thing in the world, the one person in the world you loved most, you trusted most, you believed in most? Why not? We don't do that. Why is that? I don't know where that idea came from. When we're little kids, right, we like to fight everybody about everything because we think we know everything. We trust ourselves. We know that fire isn't hot until we actually touch it and figure it out for ourselves, because it's not like people don't warn us. We do it anyway. We know that this is going to be completely fun if we jump off this table real quick until we do and something goes wrong. But it doesn't always go wrong. We still try. I've seen so many kids that get up on the playground and do some crazy stuff. They be hanging upside down on the monkey bars. They be swinging and jumping off of, the swings really high. And they don't care. They believe they're going to fly. They believe they're going to land on their feet. They believe they're not going to get hurt. And at that point, there is no fear. There is no doubt. They trust their body. They trust their mind. They trust the world around them. So where does all this this doubt and negative emotion and negative self-talk come from? Obviously it's from the outside world. And yeah, people are trying to keep each other safe sometimes. And sometimes it's people trying to keep the other person from succeeding past where they are at the moment. So we're taught not to trust ourselves, and we're taught not to trust our bodies, and we're taught not to trust, our inner emotions, and we're taught to tell ourselves that we're not that great and we're not that special and we're just like everybody else and there's really nothing going on for us, and, we can't make it because the person next to us didn't make it, and that's what we're taught. Seriously? I'm going to tell you two like this. There was one point in my life where I thought I knew everything. I had it under control. I knew what my body was capable of. I knew what my mind was capable of, and I did whatever I could. I remember hearing stories of me just singing and telling people off when they didn't understand what I was singing because they couldn't figure it out. And it was plain as day to me. Why couldn't you figure it out? And then eventually I was conditioned to believe that I could not succeed and I would not succeed, and that mistakes were really, really, really bad. And the more I made them, the more small I felt, until at one point I didn't believe in myself at all. And I wanted nothing more than to just disappear from the earth because I did not think I was worth the air I was breathing. Literally, that light, that spark that I had was beaten out of me. Until eventually, I got pregnant and I had the opportunity to keep the kid for once. And guess what? That child saved my life because suddenly I had to expand beyond what I was doing before in order to protect her and to shield her and to show her that the world was worth living in and the world was worth trusting and believing in. She made me expand past my comfort zone. It's really interesting because I just had this conversation with one of my parent volunteer ladies, on the committee, right? So this extraordinary thing happened last night. I was nominated to be the chairman of the executive committee of the parent volunteers for the school, and I was elected in. Did not see that happening, but very, very excited and nervous at the same time. But the young lady who actually nominated me, she was talking to me this morning and she was saying, I'm not that great, but I do what I can. And I gotta say, it's because of my kids that I went from a very shy introvert to this extroverted person, bold and courageous enough to speak to other people and rally parents together and get to know more people, more stories, and make new friends. And it was because of my kids. And I told her, yep, I totally get it. I've been there too. If it wasn't for my kid, I'd probably still be cowering behind my husband's shadow, thinking that he was the greatest thing that ever lived, and I could never measure up to him or be worthy of his love, and just kind of shy away from everything. But until that baby girl was born, and knowing the fact that she was going to depend on me to show her what was what in the world, she was going to depend on me, made me rise to the occasion, rise to her expectation. Because, I mean, she can't formulate words and tell me what the expectation was, but she is in my charge. She was lent to me by God so I could walk with her through this world for a little while and show her what was worth believing in and what wasn't. What does she need to pay attention to? What can she just cast to the side? What is excess noise? What is that white background noise? And what should she really be following? And guess what? In order for me to be able to show her that, I had to walk that walk. I had to talk that talk. I had to change. I had to evolve. I rose to the occasion. So if it took me 30 years to figure myself out and go back to square one, because that's where I needed to be, square one where I believed in everything, don't you think that's a remarkable lesson? Doesn't that say something to you? Shouldn't you be treating yourself like you are the love of your life? Why aren't you the love of your life? I was looking back through some files and stuff, and I was, trying to figure out what I could erase because my memory is full on my computer, and what do I need to move onto my external hard drive? What can I just dismiss and disregard and throw out anyway, because it was just extra stuff that I just started and wasn't worth anything. And I came across a couple of files, and at the time, obviously, I thought I was totally in love with this guy, and yeah, no, not at all. But the amount of belief I put into that one person, and it was one of those, I fell in love with the idea of someone. The amount of respect and the pedestal, like, oh God, how high was that pedestal? But the point is, I put them up there and I was like, wow, he's so great and I'll do anything to help them. Why didn't I do that for myself? Even now, even though I feel pretty good about myself, I like the way I look, I like the way I talk, I like the way I walk, the dress, everything. It could be better, obviously, but I'm learning to love myself as I am. But why do I never put myself on a pedestal? Why do I never put myself first? I mean, they tell you on the airplanes all the time, put your oxygen on yourself first, secure your oxygen first, and then go help the next person. Great, got it. But we still don't do that. Because that idea of love means you put everyone else above yourself, right? You love them more than you love yourself. But is that a good thing? Because if you're not taking care of yourself, how are you getting fed? How are you, receiving the love that you need to replenish yourself so you can go out and give more love? We don't practice taking care of ourselves first, and we should. We don't treat ourselves like we are the love of our life, and we should. I know for a fact there's been so many years while I was married that I didn't have the money. I knew this person, either my son, my daughter, my ex-husband, I knew they wanted something really badly. I knew it would make their whole entire day if I could just find a way to get that something. And you know what? Whether I had the money or not, I found it and I made sure I got that something and I made their day. Why is it we don't do that for ourselves? And it might be something stupid and small. It might be coffee ice cream one time. I gotta tell you, I love coffee ice cream. Don't ask me why, I just do, okay? I would rather have coffee ice cream than a cup of coffee in the morning. And even then, I'm not gonna eat the whole damn tub at the same time. I might eat like 4 or 5 spoonfuls, and that's good. We're gonna let it drag out. But why don't we do that? Why don't we love ourselves as if we are the love of our life, as if we are our first soulmate? Why are we not our twin flame? Why don't we think like that? And honestly, the reason I even brought up the word twin flame and soulmate is because I see a lot of people searching for their twin flame. I know for a fact, back when I first heard the term, it was actually my sister-in-law that told me about the term. And I was like, ooh, what is a twin flame? And she explained it. I was like, ooh, that sounds so great. And then I started trying to attach that title to like everybody I walked into, pretty much. Well, what if this person was, and what if that person? Yeah, it was dumb. But it was a concept that I was new to and I was excited by, and I wanted to have a twin flame. But part of the twin flame journey is that you need to heal yourself. And as you heal yourself, you draw your twin flame closer to you. That's the concept. Now, since then, I've kind of graduated and decided, okay, well, maybe twin flame is a lot of pressure for me because there are a lot of ideas out there about what twin flame journeys look like. There's a lot of separation. There's a lot of running and chasing. And yeah, I don't like that concept. That sounds like a lot of stress. So for me, I believe in spiritual sacred unions. I'm a big, big fan of Nylea Guerrero. So you stay tuned. I'm going to interview her again soon because we do it once a year here. We've been doing it for 3 years now. Um, but yeah, I believe in sacred unions. I believe in soul contracts. I believe in people that you have preordained to be a part of your journey at some point so you can master a lesson somewhere. But the whole idea is for you to find a way to heal yourself and guide yourself back home. That is the whole concept, at least my belief. So if that is the case, how do you heal? You can't heal unless you treat yourself like you are your own twin flame, like you are your best friend in the entire universe, like you are your soulmate. Why is it we don't talk like that though? Looking in the mirror, you should be able to look at the person, the reflection, and be like, you know what? I love that person right that like that person right there. I love them to death. I would do anything for them. I will put them before anything else because they deserve that type of attention. They deserve that type of love. When people talk about healing your inner child, do you know what that means? It took me a while to understand the concept. I mean, people say it all the time, and I'm thinking, yeah, I've healed my inner child. No, not really. What I realized it means is if you were to imagine yourself in the same situation you're in right now, but you were a child, how would you want to console that child? How would you want to what is that word I'm looking for? Comfort that child. Can you take a moment to close your eyes and imagine that child before you and you speak the words that you need to hear for yourself? It's basically learning to heal that negative self-talk. Something probably that started when you were a kid, when you were told you can't do something because, and so you rationalized the emotion that goes behind it and you started telling yourself that that's why you can't have what you wanted. Healing yourself is possible if you learn to love yourself as if you are the only one that actually really matters. Let me introduce another concept to you. People talk about, depression, anxiety. They're looking for ways out of this pain cycle that they're in. And a lot of people, unfortunately, consider suicide. If you were to pass from this world, do you realize your universe ends that moment? The universe ceases to exist in that moment because your consciousness no longer perceives it. It's gone. So let's imagine then if there was no end, how would you live your life? If you knew there was no death, no matter what you did, you could not die, what would you do? How would you live your life? I'm quite fascinated with the idea of vampires and the fact that they don't really die, right? They're immortal somehow, unless you cut their head off or burn them or whatever, I don't know. But the point being that they can live for many hundreds of years. If you knew that there was no end, how would you live your life? How would your problems fit into the grand scheme of things? Would you be bogged down by how big it is in the moment? Or would you look at it like, okay, this is one moment, like a blip on a timeline. How do I manage this right now and keep moving? Because there is no end. I got to keep going on. I'm going to keep going on whether I like it or not. I can stay stuck in this loop or I can keep going forward. I really love the idea of Lucifer and his version of what hell is. Hell is an endless loop of all your worst nightmares, all of your worst memories. You kind of relive your pain over and over again. And unbeknownst to those people who are suffering in hell, they could exit if they could just realize that they were replaying their worst experiences on a loop. They are replaying it. It is their choice. They're sitting in their guilt. They're sitting in their misery. They're sitting in whatever deep, dark emotion they've got going on. And they're replaying that moment over and over again. And if they knew they could actually just, okay, this happened. It's done. I can't do anything about it now. What do I do now? They might be able to walk out of hell. But they don't know that. So they continually replay. So with that concept in mind, is this our hell? Are we replaying some of our worst nightmares on purpose? I had a young lady yesterday who called me and she said, you know what? I was invited to a birthday party. I went to go meet my cousins and stuff, and it was people, everyone I went to see there, like the people that were there, I knew all of them. But for some reason I had anxiety, and for some reason I felt like I didn't fit in, and they were all in their own cliques, and I just, no matter what I did or tried, I did not fit in. And I was the only one repping my family from there. And I felt badly for her, and I asked her, well, what happened? Like, how did you, I mean, seriously, she went on and had a panic attack. It was that bad. It was that big to her. And finally, push come to shove, we talk it out a little bit, and she realizes, hey, when I went to see those same people, because I haven't been in touch with them consistently since the last time I spoke to them, which was many years ago, I reverted to the person I was many years ago the last time I saw them. And at that point in time, I didn't feel like I fit in. And it was made very plain to me that I did not fit in. And so walking back into that situation, even though all of us have grown and all of us have changed and I am no longer that person, I felt like that person because I saw the same things over again. I saw all the same triggers, so I reverted back. And it caused a panic attack. But what if you walked in there like you were with your best friend in the whole wide world, and nothing can stop you because you're with your best friend and they're not going to let you down because you believe in yourself, and that best friend was you. Because you know you better than anybody else. And if you feel like you don't belong in that situation, you're going to walk right the hell out because you can. You don't need anybody's permission. You feel comfortable doing those things. What would happen then? How would your life look then? I'm telling you, you guys, your first soulmate is you. It's got to be you. You got to love yourself. You are your own armor. You are your own protection. You are the only one who has been with you through every single situation you've ever encountered. You are your own witness that you survived all of those things. You need to love you first. Now, if you want help trying to figure that out, please contact me. I would be happy to walk with you for a while. You got questions, concerns? You want to pick at me because I mentioned hell and, Lucifer and I don't know what else, twin flames, all, like, you got problems with it? That's cool. Write to me, talk to me. I want to know. Because bottom line is, I want you to start thinking about things a little bit differently than you've been taught all this time. What if there was no end? And what if you are your own best friend? You are your one true love. How would you treat yourself then? Would you give yourself a break? Would you give yourself the benefit of the doubt? Would you believe in yourself like, blind leading the blind, love yourself like that? We do that for other people. Why don't we do it for ourselves? No one knows us better than we do. You can never know another person the way you know yourself. Never. Because they will never be able to reveal what's going on in their heads 24/7 unless, you have mind voice capabilities to project it out or whatever. Treat yourself like you are the one most important person in your life, because guess what? On your deathbed, you will be there. You can't guarantee that anyone else will be there. You will be there. So take your time, be present in the moment, love yourself as much as you possibly can. I know I love you guys. Y'all take care. Bye.